Welcome to the Nadex Application and Strategy Webinar Series presented by Daryl Martin from ApexInvesting.com. Today we're going to talk about Nadex binary basics. What are Nadex binaries, how do they work, and how can they be traded? So let's go ahead and go over first a few of the benefits of trading Nadex binaries. With Nadex binaries, there's no stop out, so you're never going to get stopped out of a trade, and your risk is always capped. There's no whipsaws, so if the market spikes against you, you still have time to be right. They have limited defined risk, and you know that risk before you get in. You can never lose more than that defined risk, which means no margin calls. There's very low margin requirements, always less than $100 per contract, and you can do one contract for as little as $1 or $2, or you can do hundreds of contracts. So just depending upon the size and the amount of money you're willing to risk per trade. So what are binary options? Well, they're short-term, fast-moving contracts with only two possible settlement values at expiration. They can be worth $0 or they can be worth $100. So an expiration or a settlement is a true or false statement. Basically it's saying either this is going to happen and it did happen, or it didn't happen. You can hold them to expiration, or contrary to popular belief, because on many other places where you trade binaries, you can't get out before expiration. On Nadex, you can actually exit before expiration. And the great thing about binaries is they have dramatic changes in value regardless of market volatility, especially on the 2-hour spreads within the last hour of expiration. You can trade them in volatile markets, and you can trade them in flat markets. And they can be used to multiply a variety of different trading opportunities. So the Nadex binary is sort of a reflection, not an exact percentage reflection, but a reflection of a probability of an event occurring. And they go in and they talk about time decay, and so you actually have time decay built in, and the volatility is built into that price. And again, it's a true or false statement. Either the event is going to happen or it's not, and we're going to cover that very soon. And again, on all of them, and this is one of the most important and great things about binary options and Nadex spreads, is that all the products on Nadex have a maximum risk and a fixed maximum reward. So even if the market's not volatile, you can trade binary options. So maybe before a major news announcement, during the lunchtime trading lull, during Asian market hours, anytime that there is just not a lot going on, you can still trade binary options. And they have a very simple risk-reward profile. The floor of $0 caps the risk on a long position and a profit of a short position. The ceiling of $100 caps the risk of a short position and the profit of a long position. This will make sense to you very, very soon. Again, they have a very small contract size, and you'll never risk more than $100 per lot, or also known as a contract. You can do as many as are available. And they're settled at cash value, so nothing is ever going to be delivered to you. There's no stock certificates coming your way. There's no oil or gold coming your way. Nothing's put to you. Nothing's called away from you. It is cash settled. So what does the risk reward look like on a binary? It's really, really simple. Remember, they're always worth $100. So if your risk is $25 per binary, your maximum reward is $75 per binary. So what you do is you simply go, what is my risk, 25 bucks, minus the value of a binary, $100. So if my risk is 25, binary is worth 100, then 100 minus 25 is $75 in reward potential. That's how it always works. And so we can go over and we can look at, what if my risk is $50? Well, 100 minus 50 is 50. So $50 risk, $50 reward. Or maybe I'm looking at a binary and I'm looking to collect premium. And so I can go in, I could have a risk of $75, but a reward potential of $25 on an in-the-money binary. And so the market can go up, stay flat, or go down, as long as it doesn't go down too much on a binary option like this. And I also look at, what if I sell a binary? It works the exact same way. So if my maximum risk is $25, my maximum reward is $75. Or if my maximum risk is $50, my maximum reward is $50, even when selling a binary. And maybe, again, I'm selling one that's really low, and my maximum risk that's out of the money is $75. But the market could go up, stay flat, or go down a certain amount, and I could still potentially be profitable in the trade. Maximum risk of $75 would mean a maximum reward of $25. So now that you get the idea that it's $100, whatever your risk is, the difference between $100 and your risk is your profit potential on that trade. Let's go ahead and check out a Nadex ticket. So this is what a Nadex ticket is going to look like. And so when we look at this, we see that the euro dollar is greater than 1.3960 at 3 p.m. is the actual statement on the ticket. And if we look at that, we can actually find the midpoint of the price on the ticket. $85 plus $72 is 164 divided by 2. That's 82 bucks. That's right in the middle of the price on the ticket. This can be used to tell me that there's, an 82% chance the binary will close above 1.3960 at expiration. Now, again, this is not going to be an exact number, but it's a way. It's a way of having a probability that you can use on the binary option. So, if we buy at $85 and the Euro USD closes greater than 1.3960 at 3 o'clock, then the binary will close out at the maximum profit, and it'll be $100. If we paid $85 and the maximum value is $100 at expiration, then we make a $15 profit on the trade. If that doesn't happen, if the binary closes below 1.3960 or equal to 1.3960, then we'll actually lose our maximum loss of $85, but it is capped. In addition, we could also close the position early before expiration, and that allows us to have, again, an open-ended and unlocked binary where we can get in and out anytime before expiration. So, again, look at the risk-reward. If I buy it, then I can see that my risk is $85, my reward is $15. If I sell it, then my reward is going to be right around $79 with a risk of only $21. And again, if I click on buy and I put in a quantity, it'll actually calculate that and show me my max. And it works the exact same thing when I sell. I can use the exact same numbers, and I can figure out the midpoint to have a approximate probability of the binary being at that strike at that time. If the event doesn't happen and closes at 0, then we have a maximum loss, in this case of selling it, of $18. So again, we're saying for selling, we're saying it will be equal to or less than maximum profit. 1.3960, and we're saying the statement is false, which is the euro dollar being greater than 1.3960 at 3. So if we're saying sell, we're saying false, not true. And when I choose sell and I put in my quantity, again, it'll show me the at expiration. And I can also use this, again, sell. I can see that I would make approximately $82 on this trade, and I'm risking $18 to do so. So that's a basic summary of how binary options work. And binary option contracts can be traded on a variety of markets. You can trade them on stock index futures, spot forex, commodity futures, and there's even economic events for the true and false statements. On the stock index futures, they're going to be based on a futures contract. So on the Wall Street 30, they'll be based on the CBOT E-mini Dow futures. On the US 500, they'll be based on the S&P E-mini futures. On the US Tech 100, they'll be on the NASDAQ 100 index futures. And on the US Small Cap 2000, they'll be based on ICE's Mini Russell 2000 index futures. You can even trade European exchanges with the FTSE and the Germany 30 based on the FTSE 100 and the Eurex DAX. And you also have access on Nadex in the exact same account to trade the Asian market. And you can trade the Nikkei 225 index using the Japan 225 binary options. The commodity futures give you access to crude oil and natural gas, as well as gold, silver, copper, corn, and soybeans. You can also trade them on spot forex on Aussie dollar, euro yen, pound US, US Canadian, US franc, and US yen. As well as you have access to economic events such as trading true or false statements on the Fed funds rate, jobless claims, and non-farm payrolls. Binary options on Nadex have intraday times, which will be 2 hours long. They have daily, which will end at the current trading day for that product, usually mirroring the floor's trading hours. They'll also be weekly, where you can actually start trading them early in the week and they go all the way until Friday. And the economic event will be specific to the date and time of when that announcement comes out. And they'll expire and settle at the price at expiration, or at the end of the economic event. There'll be strike widths that will be set automatically, like they'll always be 3 points wide or 20 points wide, just depending upon what binary it is. And you can check that out at nadex.com, and you can go over to range of markets, click on the market, and click on contract specs and get those details. There's a variety of contract strike prices that you can trade, and you'll see half of them will be out of the money and half of them will be in the money, depending upon whether you're buying or selling when they first open up. And the trading hours will vary. Again, those can be found on the contract specs on Nadex.com, and they close on the holiday schedule, such as Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Good Friday, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. Also, in foreign markets, such as when there'll be Japanese holidays or holidays in the EU, then you'll be able to see that those markets will be closed for those time frames as well. And when you're looking at Nadex, if you went over to the daily contracts, you'd actually see a variety of strike prices along with the offer, the buy price, and the bid, the sell price. So now let's look at a couple examples of what you could do when trading binary options. So when you're trading them, you can see how the binary's price would change over time as the market moved up and down. And what you can see here is that at this price it was at 54.58, and then it went down to 42.46 when the euro dollar went down. And as time went by with very little movement, we see it at only 34 by 38. So 34 for the sell, 38 for the buy price. It moves up just a little bit and almost at the same price it was at before. Now it's at 72.76. So a very small move, but as it gets closer to expiration, you can see a more dramatic change in price. And then being a higher price, it's still only worth $22 or $26, depending on whether you're buying or selling. And then moving back up at expiration, the statement became true. Therefore, the binary is worth $100 at expiration on settlement. In this example, we're looking at a different time when the euro dollar is at 1.2540. And what we can see on this example is the market staying below the binary strike price. We can see to begin with, it's at $42 by 46. And then it goes down to 32.36. And here, even though it's moved up at a similar or higher price than it was at earlier, it's at 18 by 22 because there's less time available to expiration, making it more volatile and changing the price as time goes by. So not only does movement in the euro dollar have an effect on the price, but also how close to expiration, making them great instruments for not only trending and swing markets, but also for flat markets, because you can get a lot of volatility in the binaries despite a lack of volatility in the underlying market. On the flip side, we can see where the euro dollar actually stays above the binary strike. It's at 52.56. Even though the euro dollars went down in price, we can see that now the binary is worth more money because time has expired. Therefore, there's a greater probability that it'll be in the money. It'll be above the strike. And as it goes further, very little movement, $78.82. And then at expiration, it did close above, so therefore it was worth $100. And here we can see an example of looking at the pound dollar and how the binary gave you multiple opportunities to get in and get out in a very, very short time frame. This is only looking at a 15-minute period. And you can see how it went from $32 up to $68, down to $20, up to $48 to $50 right at the money strike level because the market's where the strike is. And then it dropped back down to 19, went all the way up to 94 by 99, dropped down to 84.88, and then went down to 0 at expiration. So you could have sold, bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, and you could have played a very small flat market over a very short period of time with a lot of volatility, taking advantage of the binary option. And with binary markets, you can go long or short on Nadex. You can also straddle it. You could buy one above the market and sell one below the market. You can scalp it for very small moves and still get large profits since the binary options are so volatile. So if you're a scalp trader, binary options may be a perfect trade for you. Even if you're not, you can use them for trending markets or for swing markets. And if you like neutral trading, you could use them for premium collection where you're selling above the market and buying below the market. Or you could even tier in and have several layers of binary strikes as the market moves. So if just one of them becomes profitable, it covers the risk of all of them. And if multiple become profitable, then it multiplies your profits a lot more. There's a lot of different ways to trade them. You could trade vanilla buy or sell strikes. You can do news trades. You could do vertical spreads. You could do butterfly spreads. You could straddle them. You could do what's called iron condors or condors with them. You can do calendar spreads, diagonal spreads. You can do long and short spreads. And you can go in and you could use them to hedge futures, hedge options of underlying markets. You could use them to hedge ETFs and use them to hedge Forex. So there's a lot of different ways to use binaries, and these are just a few of the possible examples of strategies that you can use in your own trading to take advantage of how binary options work at Nadex.com. So to open a live or demo account and start learning about how to trade these binary options, go to Nadex.com today. It takes less than 15 seconds to open a demo account, and from opening to funding, it takes as little as 5 minutes to open a live account. Also, visit us at apexinvesting.com to learn more about how to trade on Nadex.